Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back into the podcast. Yet another episode of Crushing Fantasy Football. I am Bryce Lockridge, your host of the show. So glad to have you here with me today, guys, because I am doing what is becoming one of my favorite segments of the week, and that is running back rankings for the week. I'm going to be giving you my top 25 running backs for week 5 of the fantasy football season, and I am going to get right into it. But, guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button below. And if you do like my content today, give me a like. It helps the channel tremendously, guys, and I appreciate your support so far. All right, guys, I'm going to go right into my number one running back, and that is Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook up against the Detroit Lions. What a juicy matchup. Dalvin Cook only had 9 carries last week. Don't make anything of his down week in week 4. He clearly wasn't set to have the full-on Dalvin Cook workload coming back from his ankle injury. However, this week he will be at 100%. And going up against by far the run defense in football, I want every part of Dalvin Cook this week. He is my number one. My number 2 for the week is going to be Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's been running all over everybody, 157 yards and a touchdown last week against the Jets. This dude's absolutely matchup proof, and you're starting him every week. He's my number 2 for the week. My number 3 for the week is Austin Ekeler. Best dual threat running back in football. Great wide receiver. Dude had a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown in this past game. Guys, I'm very excited to see what Austin Ekeler can do. He's way more talented than everybody gives him credit for. He can run over guys twice his size. He can run around you. And he can just pretty much do it all. You want every part of him in a high-scoring game this weekend against the Cleveland Browns. My number 4 for the week is going to be Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. They will have absolutely no answer for the elite dual-threat running back that is Aaron Jones. He's going to get in the end zone as he is magnetically attracted to the end zone as we've seen over the past few years. And he's going to rush for over 100 yards. This offense is going to have no answer for him. So I'm starting Aaron Jones in week 4. My number 5 for the week is going to be Ezekiel Elliot. Ezekiel Elliot is reemerging into fantasy superstardom as we've seen in the past 2 weeks. This dude is running behind the Great Wall of China, and he is on a mission right now, and he looks completely unstoppable. I would not want to be a defensive player trying to tackle Ezekiel Elliott right now because I'm probably going to get my helmet knocked off as this dude is running straight through brick walls. He's on a mission after all the trash talk that Tony Pollard is the better back, blah, 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 blah. We're finally seeing the Zeke of old, and it's good to see. He's my number 5 for the week. My number 6 for the week is going to be Nick Chubb. Against the LA Chargers, this is going to be a high-scoring game, guys. Nick Chubb is one of the most efficient running backs in football, running behind one of the best offensive lines in football. 20 carries for 100 yards last week. This dude's a candidate every week for 25-plus touches and 100 yards. So you're starting him this week. He's my number 6. My number 7 for the week is going to be Alvin Kamara up against the Washington football team. Washington football team's defense has been terrible this year. They were supposed to be good, however, they are not. And Alvin Kamara will be able to run all over these guys. Alvin Kamara has had 20-plus carries in 3 out of his first 4 games. He's seeing by far more rushing volume than he's ever seen at any point in his career. And you have to think that the passing volume is going to go up at some point for Kamara as well because it is Alvin freaking Kamara, one of the best pass-catching backs in the league. So he's my number 7 for the week. My number 8 for the week is going to be Saquon against the Cowboys. Saquon is reemerging as a fantasy superstar. Had a monster week last week. He had the 54-yard touchdown reception plus the rushing touchdown in overtime. It's good to see Saquon start to find his stride again and look for him to continue to dominate going forward. He is my number 8 for the week. My number 9 for the week is going to be James Robinson. Guys, James Robinson is finally getting used in this Jaguars offense like he is supposed to be used. And now that Urban Meyer knows that they have to use James Robinson if they want a real chance at moving the ball, his volume is going to continue to increase every week, and he's going to be one of the best running backs in fantasy. He's my number 9 for the week. My number 10 for the week is going to be Kareem Hunt against the Chargers. This is going to be a very high-scoring game. Kareem Hunt's never going to be much lower in my rankings than I have Nick Chubb because, look, the last 2 weeks, Kareem Hunt outperformed Nick Chubb as far as fantasy points. This dude gets a lot of his goal line carries and scoring opportunities, and he catches lots of passes out of the backfield. He's running behind a great offensive line. He's an elite talent. I could go on forever, guys. Kareem Hunt needs to be in your lineup every single week, and he is my number 10 for the week. My number 11 for the week is Najee Harris against the Denver Broncos. Najee Harris is a volume hog, guys. Big Ben's arm strength is deteriorating, so he is relying on the check down pass to running backs a lot more often. Najee Harris gets a ton of work in the passing game as a result of this. He gets a lot of work in the rushing game. The dude gets so much volume that he's automatically going to be high in my rankings every week. And he's my number 11 this week against the Broncos. My number 12 this week is going to be Darrel Henderson against the Seahawks. This is going to be a very high-scoring game, guys, and it's going to be one of the most exciting games to watch. I am pumped for Thursday Night Football. And look, Darrel Henderson has been consistent this year. He's finding the end zone. It's clearly his backfield. They're not going to split carries with Michelle like I thought they were going to do at the beginning of the season. This is Henderson's backfield, and the dude's a beast. I'm starting him this week. My number 13 is going to be DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is emerging as one of the better backs in the league, guys. I would have him higher in my rankings. However, he plays for the Detroit Lions, so I don't want to have him too high. But he is the focal point of the offense. 2 out of his first 4 games, he's seen 100-plus yards. He's going to continue to have 100-plus yard performances and 20 to 25 touch performances going on in the season, as he is the main focal point of this Lions offense. So start DeAndre Swift this week. Okay, guys, number 14, Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson against the New Orleans Saints. It's definitely a tough defensive matchup, and I don't like Antonio Gibson as much as I thought I was going to this year. J.D. McKissic has been very annoying for Antonio Gibson owners as he keeps stealing his goal line work. He keeps stealing his third down work. He's catching passes out of the backfield. A lot of the production that we thought Gibson would get is getting taken up by J.D. McKissic. This is really, really aggravating. If you guys can't tell, I have Antonio Gibson in one of my biggest fantasy leagues, and I am not happy with J.D. McKissic. Anyways, guys, Antonio Gibson is still one of the more talented running backs in the league. He does run very efficiently when they do give him the ball, and he still gets more volume than most lead running backs in the league. So I have him at my 14 for the week. My number 15 for the week is going to be Clyde Edwards-Hellaire against the Buffalo Bills. Very stout Buffalo Bills defense, but guys, it looks like Clyde Edwards-Hellaire is trending in the right direction. It's very good to see. 2 monster fantasy performances in back-to-back weeks. This dude is finally finding the end zone like we thought he should. Okay, this dude is a product of what might be the best offensive football in the Kansas City Chiefs, and so he should be scoring a lot of touchdowns. His touchdown numbers since he's been in the league have been very disappointing, but hopefully this is a good sign of things to come. He got in the end zone last week. He's had 2 monster back-to-back fantasy performances, and let's hope that he continues to do this going forward. I have him at my number 15 for the week. My number 16 for the week is going to be Damien Williams of the Chicago Bears. This dude is a stud dual-threat running back. He's going to come in to David Montgomery's spot and basically get the exact same production that David Montgomery is getting. They are playing a Vegas Raiders team who has a terrible run defense, and he is going to be very good in this week. I have Chris Carson at my 17 against the LA Rams. High-scoring game. You want every part of the fantasy studs on both sides of the ball in this game. Chris Carson finds the end zone because he plays for a great offense. He's also a very, very efficient running back when healthy, so you always want to start Chris Carson if you can. He's going to be a very good running back 2 option this week, so I'm starting him against the Rams. He is my number 17. My number 18 is going to be Chubba Hubbard against Philadelphia. Chubba Hubbard is never going to be anything near Christian McCaffrey. I was hoping that he could produce maybe 70% of what Christian McCaffrey does for fantasy. He might not even be able to do that. He's good enough to be your running back 2 for the week, though, against the Philly run defense. It really isn't all that great, average at best. So start Chubba Hubbard. My number 19 for the week is going to be Jonathon Taylor. Guys, Jonathon Taylor going up against Baltimore. It's a tough defensive matchup, and Jonathon Taylor has definitely been a disappointment so far this year, guys. He had a good week against Miami last week, but so what? Everybody runs all over the Dolphins. The point is, Jonathon Taylor is an elite talent, and he gets workhorse volume, so I'm going to have him in my top 25 in most weeks. However, I don't want to have him too high until I start to see some consistency from a fantasy production standpoint. But he's my number 19 for the week. My number 20 for the week is going to be Damien Harris against the Houston Texans. Damien Harris has had a few down weeks in a row, but he's had really tough defensive matchups, and he's about to play a Texans defense that is really bad against the run. He's going to run all over these boys. This guy gets a lot of volume when his team is playing with the lead. So Patriots will probably be playing with the lead against the Texans, meaning Damien Harris is going to have 20 to 25 touches in this game. Running against a very bad run defense, he is going to have a huge bounce-back week in Week 5, so start Damien Harris. My number 21 is Tony Pollard. Guys, this is higher than Tony Pollard is going to be in most people's rankings. However, I want every part of this Dallas Cowboys backfield because they are running behind a great offensive line, and Zeke and Tony Pollard are 2 of the most efficient running backs in football from a yards per carry standpoint. So give me every bit of Tony Pollard every single week at my flex position. My number 22 is going to be Chase Edmonds against San Francisco. Chase Edmonds is a dual-threat back. That's what makes him so good. He's on a very high-scoring offense. Somehow hasn't even found the end zone yet this year, and yet is producing great fantasy numbers. Imagine when this dude actually starts scoring touchdowns. This dude's easily going to be in my top 25 every week. He's a great flex option, even against a tough San Francisco defense. My number 23 is going to be Samaje Perine filling in for Joe Mixon against the Green Bay Packers. He's not anywhere near what Joe Mixon is, but he's in a very high-scoring offense. Therefore, he will have some scoring opportunities, and the volume isn't going to be as good as Joe Mixon would normally get. However, the dude he's a decent running back running on a great offense, so I've got him in my top 25 for the week. My number 24 is Zack Moss. Guys, Zack Moss has produced consistently in fantasy for 3 weeks in a row. He seems to be a little bit touchdown dependent, which I don't normally like. However, he is playing on a very, very good Bills offense, which means that he has a legitimate chance of scoring a touchdown every single week. So being touchdown dependent when you're in an offense this good is a little bit different of a situation. So I do like Zack Moss going forward. He's my number 24 for the week and what's going to be a high-scoring game against the Chiefs. My number 25 for the week is going to be Josh Jacobs up against the Chicago Bears. Guys, Josh Jacobs has been a disappointment, but a lot of that is just because, he got injured early in the season. This was his first game back, coming back from injury. Give Josh Jacobs a little bit of time to develop, guys. Give him time to come back from his injury and get integrated into the offense. These things take time. I still think he's going to be a very good running back on the year as he plays for a very good offense and is going to be receiving a very healthy workload, as they do love to give Josh Jacobs the ball once he hits his full stride. All right, guys, those are my running back rankings for the week. I hope this video helped. I am going to be doing my wide receiver rankings a little bit later in the week and getting at you guys a couple more times between now and Sunday. I do appreciate you tuning into the channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe button below. And if you did like my content today, guys, drop that like. It's definitely going to help the channel. And I hope you guys have a good day. I will catch you later.